Hello there. Welcome back to our Soc Lab Series. In part 2, we are going to be installing Splunk SOAR. We are going to have an overview of SOAR. Then we're going to discuss whether SOAR is going to be a replacement or complementary for SIEM. And then to install SOAR on Red Hat, we're going to install Mo Extreme, nice little utility for the CLI commands. Then we are going to have an overview of the SOAR and install the IBM QRadar SIEM app. Okay. We know that SIEM is going to be collecting this data of logs and flows from the network. So what is the function of SOAR? SOAR stands for Security Orchestration, Automation, and Response. So let's first have a little scenario that's going to help us. Okay, now imagine that we have SIEM, and SIEM is going to create a malicious URL offense. So this guy, this is L1, is going to check this malicious URL on VirusTotal. And yes, it's malicious. So he's going to tell the firewall admin to block this URL. So here SIEM is going to be used to detect, and of course it have its own apps or plugins. So when introducing SOAR, SIEM is going to send this malicious URL to SOAR. This offense will be sent to SOAR. Now SOAR can be integrated with VirusTotal to check this malicious URL. And when it receives that, yes, malicious, it can send email to the team or block this URL to firewall. Okay. Now, the orchestration part means that we need to integrate the SOAR with SIEM so that it can receive its offense. And we need to integrate SOAR with VirusTotal. We need to integrate SOAR with firewall and email server. For the automation means that here L1 is going to manually check this malicious URL on VirusTotal. And so we can automate this step. And for the response, meaning that we can use SOAR to respond. So SIEM is going to be used to detect, SOAR is going to be used to respond, and we can use it as a case management. This is one of the most important use cases for SOAR that's gonna have a case management system. And SOAR, in order to do this orchestration, it's going to need the apps. Apps are installed. For example, there's an app for the SIEM, as we said that we are going at the end of this video to install IBM QRadar SIEM App on SOAR, so that SIEM starts to send data to SOAR. The same apply to VirusTotal, and so many other components and tools. So actually, they both are important. SIEM is important because it's the core of the SOC. It's where we are going to collect the logs to detect if there is any malicious activity that we need to pay attention to. On the other side, SOAR is going to be used to respond, as we mean in this example. For SOAR, in order to do this, we do have what's called playbooks. The playbook is something like a guidance to do for this incident type. For example, if we face this malicious URL, this is an incident. Hey, we have a malicious communication with a malicious URL. What shall we do? So this playbook is going to include all instructions that we need to do, or all steps that we need to follow in accordance to our incident response plan in order to handle this incident. And so some parts of this playbook, it's going to need these apps. So we need apps installed so that, as you said, SOAR be integrated with all these components. And in the playbook, we are going to, for example, let SOAR send a command to the virus total, please check us this malicious URL. And then virus total may reply back, yes, it's malicious, maybe it's not. And so based on this result, we can make a decision. For example, we can let SOAR send a firewall command, a block URL command to the firewall to block this URL. Maybe not. Maybe we can just let SOAR send an email to our team, whatever this team or teams, they are going to be responsible to take decision about this URL to block it or not. And of course, we know that all software components use the API, the Application Programming Interface. And this API, it's included in this playbooks. It's where we are going to be creating these commands. We may, by playbooks, we mean that we may get more information. For example, maybe SOAR, when it sends this offense to, the SIEM sends offense to SOAR, SOAR may get some data about these events included in this offense. And it may send command to virus total. And so we can see that this is going to be complementary to each other. We need SIEM to detect, but we need SOAR to respond. This is a very basic idea about SOAR and its relation to SIEM. So back to our topology here, we can say that IBM SIEM, QRadar SIEM, or whatever SIEM is, it's going to collect logs and flows from the network. And SOAR is going to be, for example, maybe with this scenario, it's going to be integrated with the pfSense firewall. And then it's going to be integrated with virus total on the internet. So if we back to this scenario, the firewall send logs to SIEM, and we have a rule created on SIEM to detect this suspicious URL communication. So once this rule fire an offense, the offense will be sent to SOAR, and SOAR will check it for internet for the virus total. And if it's malicious, it's going to send the command to this firewall here, the pfSense or whatever firewall. It's going to block this URL. But remember that SOAR is not a silver bullet. You cannot just replace humans because you can automate everything. No, not all tasks can be automated. Actually, we are going to follow our incident response plan. And for each incident type, we are going to design and implement a playbook. For example, for phishing, we have a phishing playbook. And so for ransomware, we have a ransomware playbook, and so on. Each playbook is going to do some actions like this as required. Maybe it's only check, go to virus total to check this status and get back a result. Based on this result, we can make further decisions. Maybe we can block, maybe we can send email, maybe we can do both. This is just a little scenario that we need to understand the basic concept of SOAR. Okay, now let's move to installing Splunk SOAR. Okay, now we will be installing our SOAR on the top of Red Hat 8. I did install a machine, a server machine, so it's pre-configured as a template. Right now we are going to clone it. I'll name it SOAR 2 since I already have one. Okay, our new machine is ready. Just we need to check it. Just want to make sure that's going to have a new MAC address. Now let's start this machine. You can download this more extreme utility if you haven't already, because we are going to log in with the root to have this IP. Okay, it's 10.0.40.12. Okay, now we're going to have our extreme 10.0.40.12. We will be using root to create a new user, Phantom, and we give it some privilege, and we are going to have some preparations for our machine. So first, I do have a text file. I'm going to get you these commands on the description. Okay. You need to press I to be in insert mode. Get down till we find root. That's it. Then we're going to paste this here. Okay. Now press escape. Then shift colon WQ. We're good. Heading to wheel. Creating directory, because by default this is going to be the default installation directory for the SOAR. What we are doing now is that we are preparing our machine to install this SOAR. Okay. This is for the user. We need to make little modification for the DNS. This time you press Ctrl O, hit enter, then Ctrl X. Then we need to reload Network Manager. Then we are going to configure our DNS name server. Okay, Ctrl O, enter, Ctrl X. We're good. And we need to the FIPS mode. Check, it's enabled. Sorry, it's disabled. We need to enable it. Okay, reboot. Okay, after boot repack, but this time we are going to log in with Phantom. First, we need to sudo yum clean all. update. Press Y. Y. Now, after all these updates, we need to reboot before proceeding. Okay, we're back. Okay, now we are ready to begin our installation. Now we are going to directly download this, the compressed file to our machine. Okay, now let's extract the file. Yes. Yes. Press yes. Press yes. Yes. By the way, you may not need this because it's an external file share. You may press no, but for me, I just want to accept all defaults. Okay. Now, now we are ready to install. Yes. Yes. Okay. Now we're good. And one last step. Need to enter this BIM folder. Stored Phantom. Great. Now let's open a browser Okay, you need to write HTTPS, your IP and semicolon 8443. Good. We are up and running now. It's real great. Now there is a local default admin. That's SOAR _ local _ admin. Default password is password. You will change it now. Okay, here are the terms. It's nice. Thanks for Splunk. They give us this community edition. I accept. Got it. Okay. Let's change our password first. Company name, Korean, Soc Lab. I'm going to modify this to be Africa, Cairo. Okay. Paste this here. And we may have my email. It's good. Okay. So right now, let's explore. Let me first go back to our agenda. We installed it. Now let's have an overview. Okay, now we need to have a look at this. Okay, now we have a playbook. We said it's going to be the logic collection where we are going to create all our steps included in this collection. We have actions, as we said, that we are going to, for example, query the virus total for this malicious URL, for example, or we may instruct the firewall to block this IP. And of course, we have the apps that they are the modules or this little plugins that's gonna let SOAR be connected to all our external resources. So skip onboarding. Okay, this is of course empty because there is nothing else. In this menu of the home, you are going to have this events that's received by your SIEM or whatever, but since there is nothing else, there is nothing till now. This is a fresh installation. Let's explore our playbooks. This is going to be all our playbooks. This is internal repository in case you have internal playbooks here. Community repository means that something by the SOAR, the Splunk SOAR, and this is periodically updated. You may find some common playbooks that you may need. And in the apps, actually there is no apps yet because it doesn't come with an app. So mainly you need to know that this events that's going to be received from your SIEM or EDR or whatever appliance that's going to ingest the or feed the SOAR with its events. These are the cases we're going to handle. And most important here are these apps. As we said, it's going to configure that. We are going to see now how to configure this QRadar app. And then we have our own playbooks. These are pre-made playbooks we can use. Playbooks. And by the way, in next videos we're going to see how playbooks work. Actually, sometimes you can use a playbook as a sub playbook to be called by another playbook. Okay. Let's then install the QRadar app. So let's come here and hit enter. Sorry. You are supposed to type it here, not there. Okay, now to install this app, we do have two options. Option number one, you go to the Splunk base. It's the marketplace of the Splunk apps, where you can install apps for the Splunk Enterprise, the Splunk SIEM, or the Splunk SOAR. And second option is that what we are using now. We did directly type this QRadar here, and then here it is. It's going to retrieve us this one. I'm going to install it directly, but this time it's going to need my authentication. Of course, you're going to, if I haven't told you, I'm so sorry for that, but you need to create a free account for Splunk. You can use it. It's now installed. Okay, so it's still unconfigured. So this is configured apps. There is nothing, and we do have here our first app. These are the supported actions. These actions, something like the functions that you can use when you create a playbook to use this app. Okay, now let's configure our new asset. The asset name, we're going to say QRadar SIEM, and asset setting, it's this. This is the IP of my QRadar from the last session, and I'm going to be use admin. Now password. We need to save, then test connectivity. There is some missing here, something wrong. What did we miss? Asset info. Let's check it out. Where did I miss? Maybe. Oh, time zone. I'm sorry. Okay. It's much better now. Save. Events. Okay. Save. We need to test connectivity. Yes, good. We're ready to go. Here's the app. QRadar started successfully. The app itself, and action list call failed. Please provide correct username password. Okay. This is admin. We need to edit this first. This is admin. This password. Okay, we hit save. Test. Failed again. Wow. Okay, maybe we all did this. Yes, passed. So I was supposed to enter directly the server IP or the host name with no HTTPS, but that's okay. This is not best practice to use the admin password in general or any username password to configure or to orchestrate or to integrate some platform to another. The reason I did this is only a lab and we are trying to have some demo. We are not going to integrate or do something else for this video right now. But as a best practice, it's much better that you have an authentication token. And since this app is for QRadar, designed specifically for QRadar, QRadar support this authentication token. And so back there, when we are going to go to QRadar, we can create our own token and give it the privilege we need, and it's going to be used here. And it will be much better to integrate it without username and password. But since it's only for demo, I'm just doing this. Okay, this is how this app is going to work. And okay, see you next video.